What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video, I'm going to be starting a new thing. Instead of a movie review, for this video in particular, I am going to be starting a brand new thing where I'm going to be talking about actors and actresses in depth, and I'll see if it's definitely a big hit. I am still going to be doing movie reviews in the future. I just haven't really watched a movie lately to do that. So, I figured to pass up the time basically in between watching movies. I'll talk about some actors that I like, actresses that I like. I'll talk about the movies that I like from them, the movies that I want to see from them, good movies, memorable roles, and what's coming up in the future for them. So the inaugural About Actor series, I'm going to call it about an About series. The first one is about an actor, and his name is Adam Sandler. He's going to be my inaugural About series about guy. Adam Sandler. I couldn't really think of anybody else who better to start off with than Adam Sandler. He's one of my favorite comedians of all time. Every movie I've watched from this guy has been very good. He's done a great job in his performances. Without further ado, I'll get right into it. His first movie was in 1989, and it was a movie called Going Overboard. And if you've ever heard of that movie, kudos to you, because before seeing it, I go on his filmography a lot and I look up his movies, and I see what kind of role he played in all the movies. And this movie I'd never heard of, but this was his debut role. And this is before he hit it big with Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. Coneheads in 1993. He was in that movie, actually. Supporting role. Coneheads, for those of you who don't know, was an SNL sketch that developed into a movie. So he was in that. Airheads was a fairly memorable movie. It had Brendan Fraser from the Mummy fame, and Steve Buscemi, a frequent Adam Sandler collaborator. You will find that Adam Sandler has had a ton of different collaborators in his movies, and Steve Buscemi is one of them. Airheads is a supporting role for him, but like I said, he hit his big fame with Billy Madison first off. 1995, Billy Madison came out, and it was just a big hit amongst Sandler fans. I mean, yes, the critics did not really like it all that much, but the fans really loved it. Sandler fans, this is a Sandler classic right here in Billy Madison. Happy Gilmore, the other really famous movie a year later. Just another Adam Sandler classic, and fact is, he's done a lot of classic movies. Classic Sandler type movies. For sure. Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore are those goofy movies, those movies that just make you laugh out loud. And, I always did that. I've always done that. I've always laughed out loud when I've watched these two movies in particular. These two are absolute classics in every sense of the word. 1998, he did The Wedding Singer, This was his first of 3 collaborations with Drew Barrymore. I never watched The Wedding Singer. I think I've watched parts of it before. I've never watched the entire thing. But it's a movie I'm kind of looking at as, I have a big bucket list of movies that I want to see. A huge bucket list. And The Wedding Singer is one of those movies. Also in 1998, he released one of his other most famous movies, The Waterboy. I saw that a while back. From what I remember of it, because it was a while back that I watched it, from what I remember of it, it wasn't as memorable as Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison, but it was still, I think it was still a pretty solid Adam Sandler movie for sure. 1999, he came out with Big Daddy. Big Daddy is one that I've seen a couple of times, or at least once. And from what I remember of that, another solid Adam Sandler movie as well. It actually had Cole and Dylan Sprouse, who were in this movie, who were child actors and who went on to become famous child/teenage actors in the Disney series The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. They played twins in that TV show, but Big Daddy, nonetheless, a good Adam Sandler movie. Little Nicky came about in 2000, and Little Nicky, I mean, the thing about Adam Sandler, first, before I get into that, the big thing to know about for Adam Sandler and his movies with critics is that, well, critics hate him. Critics just do not like his movies. They don't like him, personally. They don't really like him as an actor. And I can see it because critics do look down on most comedy movies that are stupidly funny. And Adam Sandler's comedies are stupidly funny. So he is a culprit for bad reviews, but he is, I mean, the fans love it, and you see it with the box office results. The guy is just absolutely good. He makes money. There's no doubt about it. He makes money at the box office with all his movies. But anyway, back to Little Nicky. Little Nicky, I think, is one that is underrated for Adam Sandler films. Not a lot of people would say, I don't think a lot of people would say Little Nicky's one of their favorites. But I do like it. It is a good movie. Pretty funny. It's got Ozzy Osbourne as a cameo in the movie, and I like Ozzy Osbourne as a rocker, so it's definitely memorable for that. In 2002, Adam Sandler came out with Mr. Deeds, which is definitely a very memorable film for him. It's one of my favorite earlier ones. Mr. Deeds is just a Mr. Deeds is a very good Adam Sandler movie. It's got Winona Ryder, and it's definitely a very memorable type movie for me personally. Let's see here. 2003 he came out with Anger Management. And Anger Management is where he actually paired up with Jack Nicholson. This movie is absolutely memorable. I really like this movie because, the two work well together. It proves that Adam Sandler can hang with the big boys. And Jack Nicholson is a legendary actor. I mean, Jack Nicholson's a 3-time Academy Award winner. So to hang with him and put out a good movie like Anger Management, that was pretty good. That was pretty good right there. 2004, Sandler came out with the second of his 3 collaborations with Drew Barrymore, 50 First Dates. I have watched this movie before, and from what I remember of it, it was good. It was good. I mean, he gave a good performance. From what I remember, Drew Barrymore gave a good performance. I mean, these two work well together, and let's hope they make more. Let's hope they make more collaborations in the future, because this one in particular was good, and it's been popular with fans. Him and Drew Barrymore being in movies together, so we'll see what happens there. In 2005, Adam Sandler came out with The Longest Yard, which is a remake of a 1960s movie, and actually one that I did a review for this channel. And as I said in my review, I really did like this movie. It had its funny moments for sure. He stars with Billy Bob Thornton. No. Burt Reynolds. Yeah, Burt Reynolds is the guy he stars with in this movie. And it was just The Longest Yard, again, a pretty memorable movie. In 2006, he came out with one of his more popular newish releases, Click. Started this one with Christopher Walken and Kate Beckinsale. Click, to me, Click is probably one of his more popular films, in my opinion. But also, in my opinion, it wasn't the most memorable Adam Sandler movie. Now, it's been a long time since I've watched this movie, but I just don't really regard it as much as other Adam Sandler classics. For sure. I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry came out in 2007. He pairs up with Kevin James in this movie, and now the two, in recent years, the two have become great collaborators. This movie was hilarious. It's one of my favorites, but not my absolute favorite. That comes up later. But the movie, absolutely hilarious. It's just a memorable movie for me. But my favorite of all time is You Don't Mess with the Zohan, which came out in 2008. Hilarious movie. This is just an wow. I guess when I first saw it, I immediately fell in love with it. It's his best film. It's his best film. I mean, I know I haven't really been describing the films in detail, but this one's about, he's an Israeli terrorist who goes to New York and goes to find his career as a hairstylist. Hairstylist. He wants to escape from the terrorist life, and he wants to basically become a hairstylist, and he has to stop the Israelis and the Palestinians from from fighting with each other and creating a lot of chaos. And he's got to stop a big executive from playing off those rivalries and creating his own mall, basically, in New York. He has to stop the guy from getting rid of the hairstyling place where Sandler's character works. Zohan, or Dever, or Scrappy Coco is the character's name. And he's got to stop him, and that is well, that basically is the film, but it's just a little thing of the film plot. But I do like it. It is I mean, it's my favorite Adam Sandler movie of all time. 2008, he did Bedtime Stories. I'll start describing the movies now. He is a hotel heir. He owns this hotel. Well, his father owns these hotels, and he tells bedtime stories to his kids. Essentially, they come true, and he lives out these stories. These bedtime stories, these dreams, and all that sort of thing. Or he lives out these bedtime stories that he tells his kids. Pretty memorable, family-friendly movie. This is really one of the first ones from Sandler that's family-friendly. Grown-Ups in 2010. Both of them, actually. I'll talk about both of them. Grown-Ups came out in 2010. Grown-Ups 2 came out last year. Grown-Ups 1 was good. It was a good, solid entry. It's Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, David Spade, Rob Schneider, Kevin James, Selma Hayek. I mean, a lot of all-star people in this cast. And Grown-Ups is just... Critics absolutely pan this movie. But they do it with every Sandler film, so that's to be expected, but it still holds up, definitely, in my opinion. It's just a good Adam Sandler film. Jack and Jill in 2011. Jack and Jill is about two twins who basically Jack and Jill is about two twins. This girl twin who's played by Adam Sandler and this guy twin who's also played by Adam Sandler, who basically the girl twin annoys the guy twin so much, and that's essentially a little bit of the plot. And Jack and Jill is regarded as probably one of the worst Adam Sandler movies. But when I watched it the first time, I didn't think it was that bad. I really didn't. It is the lowest rated Adam Sandler movie, I think, according to Rotten Tomatoes. But I still thought this film, I thought this film was pretty good. That's My Boy came out in 2012. He paired up with Andy Samberg in this movie, and he has to try to convince his son played by Adam Sandler's character, Donnie Berger, has to convince his son, played by Andy Samberg, to something about getting him to cough over some money to pay some taxes of his that haven't been paid, or else he would go to jail. Sandler's character would go to jail. And it's a story about that. 2012, Hotel Transylvania came out. I've seen this movie a couple of times before, and it's an animated movie. I think it's one of the first ones that's animated with Adam Sandler. And that also is I really did like this movie, and it proves that Adam Sandler can do family-friendly movies as well as his usual raunchy-type movies, which is definitely a good thing when all things considered. Grown-Ups 2 came out in 2013. That is that is another top Adam Sandler movie for me. Better than the first one, even though it got more pan than the first one. Just a lot of hijinks, they upped the funny in Grown Ups 2. They got a feel for it in the first Grown Ups, but they upped it in Grown Ups 2 for sure. Blended came out just this year. The third collaboration between Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. It's a movie that I haven't seen yet, but I would like to see. I heard that it got bad critical reviews, and it actually didn't do well at the box office. But I'm looking at it because, I mean, obviously Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, they work as a team. They're a great comedy team. So that really, in a nutshell, well, not really in a nutshell, but that really is Adam Sandler's filmography career. Now, some films that I missed in here, but purposely did. Spanglish came out in 2004. It was one of his first serious roles. This kind of proved that he could be a serious actor. And no surprise, his serious roles have been critically acclaimed by critics. But I'm curious about Spanglish. Reign Over Me came out in 2007. I think that was another serious movie. Which it had him and Don Cheadle in it. Which another serious movie. I think it got good reviews as well. Funny People came out in 2009. That had him, Seth Rogen, and Leslie Mann. And I know the story. It's about a guy who's battling an illness, a comedian who's battling an illness, and Seth Rogen and Leslie Mann's characters are two up-and-coming comedians, I think, and they have to help him. They help him with, I guess, happiness and stuff like that. They make him really happy. Another serious comedy, a serious comedy drama. But it's a movie I'm looking forward to seeing someday. But yeah, that's one that I forgot that I did see is in 2011. It's Just Go With It. It's a romantic comedy type movie with him and Jennifer Aniston. And Brooklyn Decker, the model. And he has to in this movie he has to convince Jennifer Aniston's character, a partner of his at a vet or something like that, a doctor's office, to pretend to be his wife, essentially, to prove to Brooklyn Decker's character that he's not lying to her at all, that he doesn't lie to her. Good movie. It was definitely good. The other ones, I mean, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. For those of you Sandler fans who have seen it, I don't think I need to explain the plot because, I mean, they're pretty classic movies. The Waterboy is where he's a football player. He turns from a water boy to a football player. Big Daddy's where he has to take care of this kid, or the kid, Zach and Cole and Dylan Sprouse. He has to take care of the kid. His name's not Sonny, but he has to take care of the kid to convince his girlfriend that he's a mature adult. Little Nicky is where he's Satan's child, and he has to go up to Earth to stop his brothers from taking over Earth. Mr. Deeds is where he inherits $40 million from his dead grandfather, I think, or uncle. And he has to stop this executive from gaining control of the estate of the 40 million, this greedy man. Anger management is where he lands in anger management classes because he gets into a bad temper. He loses his temper at an airport and, well, kind of does, but he has to learn how to contain himself, and that is where, that's kind of that. 50 First Dates is where he has to help this woman, played by Drew Barrymore. That's the collaboration with them. He has to help Drew Barrymore's character remember all the different. He has to help her remember. Actually, she repeats the same. She repeats the same day after day because she's an amnesiac. So he has to kind of accommodate her. He kind of tries to make her remember. He tries to cure her of her amnesia or something like that. The Longest Yard is where he's a former NFL player. He gets sentenced to to prison for a joyride, and he has to form a football team of convicts to defeat the prison guards at an annual football game that they do. Click is where he wishes that he could skip over different aspects of his life. And he does that with a magical remote that Christopher Walken's character gives him. And it's also a drama as well. I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry is where, in order to get insurance, life insurance, Kevin James's character has to pretend that he's gay with Adam Sandler's character. And the whole story with that. And those are pretty much the ones I did describe. Some Adam Sandler movies that I definitely want to see in the future. Airheads looks interesting for sure. I'm looking at his filmography right now. Airheads looks interesting. Coneheads looks interesting. I'd like to see all of The Wedding Singer. Let's see here. I've watched Anger Management. Spanglish looks interesting just because of seeing the different side of Adam Sandler than his usual stupid comedy. And that's in a good way. Let's see here. Zookeeper looks pretty interesting. It came out in 2011, and it's another animated role for him, where he plays a monkey, a capuchin monkey in this film. Another interesting one right there. And Blended. Blended's another one that I'm looking forward to seeing as well. Another thing that I should, I know this movie's pretty long now, but a couple things left to describe. The other thing I want to talk about is that he has his own production company, Happy Madison Productions. It's after Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison, two of his most famous movies. And he's made a ton of movies out of them. Joe Dirt is one of them. David Spade stars in this movie. The Master of Disguise, which unfortunately has a very bad 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics don't like Adam Sandler movies, or Adam Sandler produced movies. Master of Disguise has Dana Carvey. Dickie Roberts, former child star. Grandma's Boy, which is a very funny movie with Alan Covert, another Adam Sandler collaborator. It also has Nick Swardson, who is another Adam Sandler collaborator. Alan Covert Nick Swartzen, Steve Buscemi, and a few other guys. They're in all of Adam Sandler's movies. The Benchwarmers, another one. The Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, and with Rob Schneider, and then the other one, Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo, where in those movies he's basically a male prostitute. The House Bunny is another one, starring Anna Faris. He's been in a couple movies, I think, with her. And Paul Blart Mall Cop, Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star, Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James. And those are among the movies that he's produced as part of his company. Some movies that are coming up. There is actually a movie coming up called Men, Women, and Children. I think it's going to come out this year. It looks like that it will come out October 3rd. And it's a comedy drama film. So this actually may be one of those films that gets a good release. It actually has been released at the Toronto International Film Festival. It was screened there. It will receive a limited release October 3rd before opening on October 17th. And he's going to play a pretty small role in this. He's like the fifth different actor that's on here. Jennifer Gardner is another one who's going to be in the movie. Emma Thompson, Dennis Haysbert from the Allstate commercials. The Cobbler is another movie that's going to be coming out. I've kind of heard of this. And that's another comedy drama film. And it actually just came out. It just came out yesterday at the Toronto International Film Festival, and it's got Adam Sandler, Dustin Hoffman, Steve Buscemi in it. I mean, it looks interesting. Another comedy drama of his. Maybe I'll see that someday. But he's in the process of filming Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. The first one had Kevin James in it, but definitely should be as good as the first one. I like the first Paul Blart Mall Cop movie. It was pretty good. He's also coming out with Pixels, a movie called Pixels, which is a 3D live action computer animated film, and it's got him and Kevin James, another collaboration. Michelle Monaghan, Peter Dinklage, and a few other people. And that's there. If you want to look up the plots of the movies and all that, I get my information from Wikipedia. So that could be a place you guys could look at, or another website or anything like that. And then the last one here, according to Wikipedia, is Hotel Transylvania #2. Hopefully it's as good as the first one. It's got much of the same people. Adam Sandler, Selena Gomez, who was in the first one, and David Spade. And those are the upcoming films from Adam Sandler. He hasn't, for television, I guess I'll talk about television because it's really, it's been important in Adam Sandler's career because he started his career off on Saturday Night Live. He really got things going, and he's well known on the show. He was there from 1990 to 1995. He did 87 episodes. He just the lunch lady sketch, a memorable one, and a few other ones as well. But he's one of the more popular Adam he's one of the more popular characters or people that ever graced Saturday Night Live. And like a lot of other people on the show, he went on to have a great movie career, obviously. In the late 80s, he was on The Cosby Show for 4 episodes, a 4-episode guest arc. He was on one of my favorite shows this year, actually. My favorite new shows, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and he was on The King of Queens in 2007 on one of my favorite TV shows that has Kevin James in it. And that's pretty much the big stuff that in television that he's done. And I will apologize in advance. That's it for Adam Sandler. I will apologize in advance for the length of this movie. For the length of this video. It's my longest video so far, by far. And that is it for Adam Sandler. The reason the video's been so long is because I love Adam Sandler, and I've watched a lot of his movies before, and I look forward to watching more in the future. So that is my first About series about Adam Sandler. That's my first About. It's my first About an actor, and that was Adam Sandler. So that's it. D-Rock 1992 out.